Hey there, everyone. It's time to give another update on Big Bear AI stock to see what happened today, where we could potentially go from here. And then also, I want to initiate coverage in the channel on the NVTS. I shared the technicals for both of those stocks over at the Discord. You guys can go and check those out. Use code word doctor with the link in the description for that Discord. That code word, by the way, does expire soon, so make sure that you take advantage of it. I'm also going to initiate coverage on several other things that I think with the $750 billion trade deal that we have with the EU, that I think that some of these could benefit from them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're ones to jump into right now. I would never tell you what to buy or sell, but I do think that we have some opportunities laid before us and things to watch. So I'm going to share those stocks with you. So for that, I got UCO, which is an ETF, but then I also have COP, SMR, OKLO, and then the last one is BWXT. And I wanted to look at the screen to make sure that I had each of those ticker symbols right for you for what I'm covering in this video, and I'll give a commentary on each one of them. So let's jump into the charts on these, kicking things off with BBAI stock. So for this one, I shared this morning. This is the 4-hour chart that we're looking at, the resistance to the north, support to the south. Well, we actually broke down below support today. So right here, you can see the sort of sell that we had, and I took the technicals down for a moment because I want you to see a few things on the 4-hour chart. First of all, the RSI down here has dipped below 50. We got rejected at the 13. We sold down below the 5. The 5 crossed the 50. So all that kind of stuff gives near-term bearishness. On an intraday chart like this one, we saw a little bit of that pain. Maybe we see a little bit more. Now, if I put some of those technicals back up for you, you can see that we are right in some critical support areas right now. And if we look a little left, you can see the buying pressure that comes in around here with some evidence today of that buying pressure. So are we down and out for Big Bear AI? That's probably the question on people's minds who are at least bullish on Big Bear AI. And I got to say that we don't necessarily have that evidence right now when we look at the higher time frame charts on here, so daily, weekly, monthly, but I will say that we have some things that we definitely want to watch for, such as those declining RSIs. Now, because of my long positions, I did take out some short hedging. I took out a very, very aggressive put option that should things go drastically weak on us this week, well, that's something that could add a little bit more funds to my pocket. And if instead BBAI bounces wildly, well, I got those shares sitting, those long positions ready to go. So the short I took isn't a net short against Big Bear AI, but it is a short hedge that if it does fall in the meantime, I should be able to further capitalize on that price action. Like I said, that's available over at the Discord. NVTS is another one that I want to share with you because it is a bit similar in its structure, and it has some things that we need to watch out for. I'm not ready to get there yet. We'll get there soon. So let me put the chart back up here for you. For Big Bear AI, we'll go out to the daily chart. Declining RSI, we have not crossed down below 50. We also don't have the 5 over the 13. So this right now is a dip. Some people may have seen it as a buy the dip opportunity. For this one, for right now, I have the position I want. I have as much risk capital out there as I want, and I want to watch and see what happens if we're going to get further signs of turning things back around. The 5 being above the 13 is a good thing for bullishness. The RSI also above 50. The RSI is declining, so we're losing a little bit of momentum. You can certainly see that in the price action as well, that we don't have that same steam that we had going on before. So we do want to continue to watch this. If we get that 5 crossing down below the 13, that you can see right here, the green down over the yellow, if that cross happens, that is a bearish sign. We could potentially see it sell down lower. People wonder how low. Well, I'm actually kind of hoping that we go all the way back down to this 50, because that should put significant de-risking and allow us, if we're going to bounce, to get a very significant one and really capitalize on that upside. Maybe that's that 2.5x that we're looking for. I think it's going to take some very positive news, some filling out some cash, like some hard evidence to see 15 come out of this, not just speculation come out right now, especially with the Qs being positioned in a rising wedge pattern like they are, SPY also being positioned in a rising wedge pattern, and typically having some weakness around this time of year, especially as September starts to roll around. I know we haven't hit August yet, but the market has been running. It's been on a tear, and a lot of these assets are really high up in value compared to the sort of money that they're bringing in. BBAI is one of those highly speculative stocks. As this momentum wears out, we got to be watchful for that, because that price can rip back down around us pretty darn quickly. So we want to be watchful. We want to be in tune for where that turnaround could happen. Near-term signals, intraday chart is saying the more weakness could come our way if support fails. 587 also happens to be where that 200 EMA is. That'd be some nice confluence with what we saw for the 50 EMA. Now for NVTS on this one, once again, a little bit of intraday weakness. So we had that consolidation pattern going on, and we also had a tiny little bull channel in here. While we broke structure on both of those today, started to trade down below it, and what we see is that we actually broke down below the 50, got rejected here in the after hours as we're looking at. So between 4 and 5, sold down below it. We are trading along at the 5. This thing could turn back around for us. So is it time to short either one of them? Well, if we are playing the consolidation pattern, yeah, we broke below, but we want to watch if we get a retest and get rejected off that bottom support. That could be that resistance that you're looking for. Of course, we want to combine it with other indicators that we have. So depending on the period chart that you're looking at, are we still looking for some cooling for the RSI? Are we looking for those moving averages? How are they positioned? The more confluence you have that signals the same trend, the better. So uptrend or downtrend, but the confluence is certainly something that I look for a conviction in the moves that I make. So NVTS, right now, this one could give us a little bit of de-risking, and then it is a highly popular stock right now with some connection to NVIDIA, and it is something that could play out well for them over time. So for these, it might be something to put on your radar for what exactly could happen sometime in the future for NVTS if they're able to really hit that supply side of things for really starting to fill out and people getting the appetite for it. We'll continue to see this rise happening. So be on the watch for this. It doesn't mean that we're down and out yet, but we do want to watch and see if we get further weakness on here. If we do, much like I think for Big Bear AI, it could give us some buying opportunities for the next go round. So now into the other stocks that I have for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 5 different stocks that I have lined up for you with the Trump trade deal that we saw with the EU. Maybe these do well in the near term. And also, I got to say, some of them have already done extremely well, especially when we get into the nuclear plays, if you will. I have 3 of those to share with you, and you'll see they've been on a tear recently. So what do we do about them? Well, we can either hope that it goes up more, or maybe we can watch and see for that next deal that comes around, should it come our way, that we start to catch some prices that could be significantly discounted from where they're at right now, that it kind of, some of the hype dies down, some excitement goes away, and we sort of forget that they may have been good plays in the first place. So let's put this back up here for you, UCO being the first thing. So from a technical standpoint, so this is Bloomberg, my goodness, ProShare Ultra Bloomberg crude oil. So 2x the performance of what we see for crude oil futures. And so for this one, we actually closed up above the 200 EMA, and we have the 5 over the 13 over the 50. This one could put 10 to 20% on top of the move that it's already done. So this thing could take us up to closer to that $30 mark if we march north on this, and before we really start to get into those big areas of chop that we see as we look left on here. And if we go out to the weekly chart, what do we see? We actually see an RSI that is also up above 50 and rising, which is exactly what I look for, my penny stocks to buy now and my best stocks to buy now. So beat up over time, good. Starting to show signs of reversal, great. We can get that outperformance. We had a bit of a climb, got a little bit overdone. Now we're seeing if we put that next extra climb on here on the weekly chart. Monthly chart, what are we looking at? 46. So still signs of falling, but if this thing can cross 50 on the monthly chart, it's already overtaken the 5 EMA. It can also overtake the 13 and lead to a cross on this one. Maybe we start to see the outperformance. So 10 to 20% on that one. Next one is ConocoPhillips. So this is COP. By the way, UCO is the ticker symbol on the last one. COP, this one is another crude oil play. Now, it's not a pure play necessarily, but it does have some room to the upside, an advantage over a lot of the other crude oil plays that are out there. So for this one, we see much the same structure as what we saw with UCO. We'll see if we can continue to push over this. If we can get more bullish crossovers with the moving averages, that'd be great. RSI currently sitting at 60 for the daily, 53 for the weekly, and on the monthly, we are almost, it's still falling, but we're trying to overtake the RSI on the monthly chart with the price action up above the 200, the 50, also up above the 5. If it also crosses the 13, that can be great for us. This thing could push us up another 10 to 20%, like I said, for UCO. We could see it for COP as well. So we'll watch and see if we get that. We'll see if we could also end up at these much higher prices that we saw here. Now, mind you, these are the monthly charts that we're looking at here. So every candle that we have on here happens to be 1 month worth of time that we're looking at. Big old sell, big old red pepper on there back in April. We'll see if we can continue to make that climb as further tariff deals are made, and if that money really is thrown at the United States. So from that takes us into the nuclear plays. First one is SMR. So this is There we go, like a small micro reactor, I think is what SMR stands for. This is New Scale Power Corporation, but again, the ticker symbol on this, SMR. So where do we find ourselves right now? Well, up against resistance, and we got a red candle on that. Coming out of overbought territory and then getting near it, we could be seeing a little bit of bearish divergence here, along with that touch on resistance. This could sell down more on us. So I think that if we start to get down around that 36 to 38 level is where we could see a big old bounce, although 45 also offers one, as you can see what we saw over there in the past or previously. Now, mind you, this could also be hugely discounted depending on what we get from the revenue for them. So 11.65 million is expected, and they had 13 million on the last quarter. The one before that, about 34 million. So this thing's climbing on potential, and right now its market cap happens to be about $15 billion. So that is a huge multiple over what it brings in. So this is a company, I think it's the only company that actually has license to sell in the United States with their small scale nuclear reactors. And that could be one of the reasons why you see the hype that you do. But I do think that better deals for this could be on the way. And I want to see this thing, being that I have no position in it, if I do want to take one, I want to see it get squashed down first. I'm actually hoping that we see this thing back in the mid to low 20s, all the way down here where we find this support. I don't know that we'll see it. And this is definitely not a price prediction, but it is one that I absolutely want to have in my back pocket for those rainy days for the stock where I'm like, okay, well, you know, based on the technicals that I see, now's the time to jump right on in. And for me, now's just not that time, but absolutely SMR on the radar. OKLO is the next one. This one also been on just a significant tear. There's the ticker symbol. You can see it in the background. And when we look at this one, the RSI kind of near 70 on a weekly, overbought, and then on a monthly also overbought. Now, mind you, we actually do have evidence of bearish divergence on a weekly and monthly RSI basis, and the price is fairly run up on this one. And when we go to look at the revenues, it just says estimate zero, so they're losing money and they have no revenue, and yet this thing has a market cap, when we take a look at it, of about 11 billion. So I don't know the fundamentals of this company, but usually with companies like this that aren't really putting out any sort of numbers, you start to wonder, okay, well, then it must just be the promise that's filling this out right now. And when things go sideways, you want more guarantees than just promises that maybe someday. So I think that this one, also being in that nuclear space, could benefit from that $750 billion investment deal over the coming years from the EU. So this could be in that line of things. A lot of the run-up that we've seen has been for, at least as far as I understand it, is for powering AI data centers, is why we've seen so much for the small-scale nuclear reactors and the sort of cheap energy that they could offer for those space. Then also probably cryptocurrency probably goes along with that as well, I'd imagine. So I'm looking for better deals to come along for OKLO, and they could happen around the high 50s, the low 60s, and then we also have more support around the 50s. Once again, this is one of those ones I would love to see it squash down before I would take a step into it. That's why it's one of the stocks I think that should be on your radar. It gives us time to do some fundamental analysis along the way. What exactly is going on with this company? What's the promise for it? When are we going to see revenue start coming in? I don't know that deal yet, but it's one of the ones that I want to have answered. And I certainly want to establish myself early in this game on a stock like this one. Now, maybe not early price-wise, but at least in terms of, okay, it's up high right now. I don't want to buy it while it's up high. I want to buy it while it's down low instead, but with promising fundamentals along the way, and also definitely some financial promise coming along as well. And more than promise, starting to see some of those results fill out. The last one is BWXT. Now, this one highly tied to the government. So this is one that could absolutely be a direct beneficiary. Now, this one actually has some pretty significant revenues that come in already. The market cap on this is 13.69 billion. And it actually has some earnings to go along with it as well. So when we look at the earnings, we actually see some profitability going along with it. And actually moving up today, 1.26%. That's good. We are right up against resistance. Definitely for myself, I don't want to buy here. I'd rather see this thing drop lower. And I don't know that it would drop as low as we might see the other two go. We're going to have to watch and see. But for this one, I would maybe down around 130 to 135, when right now it's trading around 150. If it does push below that, I think you start to get into better deal territory. down around $100 per share. But once again, none of these are price predictions, being that each one of these nuclear stocks are near the top of where they've traded historically. I think that there might be better deals to come along from where they're at right now. But I will say that if we're able to break resistance on this last one, BWXT, there's significant upside waiting for us, that we'd actually have a big old space of nothingness up until we get into the high 160s, 167, 168, when it's only at about 150 right now. So if we're able to sit on top of that resistance, that could offer us that next launch pad for a 10% gain, which I gotta say is more hope than I currently have for SMR or KLO, just from a peek at their charts. So they are stocks that I want to investigate more of. Look at the companies on the fundamental side of things and see what the roadmap looks like and what their scale out, their build out looks like over time to merit such large moves that we've gotten. So you guys can let me know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't, if you'd like to see more updates on these companies, more updates on Big Bear AI stock, more updates on NVTS, as I plan on doing some fundamental analysis on that as well. I'll share over at the Discord along with my buys and sells. I'm just one of the panel experts over there to support you in your journey towards financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolio, so you guys can check that out. As well, like I said, link in the description, code word doctor. It does expire soon, so make sure you take advantage of it. And then also over at down in the description, we also have a link there for Stockmo Academy if you learn technical analysis like you saw on the screen here, or if you'd like to learn how to trade options or trading using those technicals. There's some coursework through Stockmo Academy. Bundle the courses to get the bundle discount. And a code word doctor will get an even deeper discount, regardless of what course or both courses, if you sign up for them, with more courses coming on the horizon for you to also take advantage of as they're rolled out. So code word doctor, either way. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.